he was falling for that.
That was Benn.
Oh, what a shot that
Shot
is.
really shook him.
Opened him up with the left hand and then shot the right hand over and it connected. There's the countdown. If he did go down, the count would continue.
Ben's shaking, Reg.
Oh, right to his boots, Jim.
Ben is shaking. The eyes watch Reg. This will be the finish of the belt.
And it's all over in the 9th round.
Chris Eubank, world champion. Welcome to the Brighton Centre. It's been a stormy old day down here on the seafront. And now the local hero, Chris Eubank's expected to blow away challenger Dan Sherry as he puts that world title on the line for the very first time. And at ringside, Barry McGuigan, former world champion, now very much in the broadcasting game. Dennis Andries in the middle there, looking very relaxed, who recently defended his world title so well in Australia. And Gary Mason, a very big date coming up with him. Lennox Lewis looming in a few days' time. Hello, good evening to you. I think we're all set to find out a lot more about Chris Eubank here tonight. Simply the best, he calls himself. Unbeaten, he says that he's unbeatable. He certainly won this World Boxing Organisation title in great style against Nigel Benn. And now his reward is this hometown defence against Dan Sherry. Sherry, also 24, also unbeaten, but taking a huge step up in class here in Brighton tonight. We're all set for the big fight. The fighters all set to enter the arena here. And after this World Championship fight, we'll be joining Tony Francis, and Tony up there in Derby for further coverage of snooker's British Open.
You know, wherever the game's played, from Brentwood to Bangkok, from Dubai to Derby, one thing never changes. Jimmy White is the crowd puller supreme.
Tony, meantime, back here in Brighton. Really, no one's quite sure what Chris Eubank's going to do here tonight. He told me a couple of days ago he's got a big shock in store for Dan Sherry. To others, he said if Sherry's good, he'll be good. Chris Eubank really is a very confusing sort of character, but he's got quite an act to follow, that World Championship winning performance.
This was the fight of the year, a brutal, compelling spectacle at the National Exhibition Centre. Insults traded beforehand. Eubank insisted the craftsman would always beat the puncher. He was right. Then, an emotional proposal.
If anyone can touch somebody's chin, it's Nigel Benn. Karen, can we get married now? Can we get married?
Listen, this is a new side.
Marry me, Karen.
And marry him, she did. Karen, who's never allowed to watch Chris from ringside, became Mrs. Eubank just before Christmas. The challenger tonight, Dan Sherry, is a big outsider. The 24-year-old Canadian's unbeaten. He was a top-class amateur, winning the Commonwealth title in Edinburgh in 1986. Sugar Ray Leonard is his manager, and he's ensured that Sherry has top-class advice. Leonard's chief cornerman, Jose Correa, is Sherry's trainer. It's very much a team effort, and they're very confident.
They know me. They've seen me. They would not have taken me on if they did not think I could be a world champion. And in doing so, they've given me 17 tough fights. They haven't been easy fights, not like the fights I've seen Chris Eubank in. And I feel I'm ready.
I would say to the public who are going to view the fight that I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to react to the way he acts, and me being the way I am, I'm sure you'll be pleased with what you see.
I believe in working hard, giving it a good day's work, and what comes out of it is what you put into it. And I've put into it a great deal, and what's going to come out of it is going to be a new world champion.
And Dan Sherry, two shades over Who Are You? A bit of tongue-in-cheek there from the Canadian, the former Commonwealth champion. A very confident sort of fella with the Sugar Ray Leonard backing behind him. Dan Sherry already in the ring, an 8-1 outsider with the local bookies here in Brighton. Well, a lot of Chris Eubank fans inside this Brighton Centre, 5,000 of them. It really is an excellent atmosphere here for this world title fight. Chris Eubank, people say he's got a few weight problems, but he was a couple of pounds underneath the weight yesterday, and today weighed in wearing the long johns, would you believe, bang on the 11 stone 6 limit. Chris Eubank, unbeaten, 25-0. making his first defence here tonight against Dan Sherry. A real tough nut, despite those good looks. Right, we're waiting for Chris Eubank to appear. They say it's going to be an entrance to remember. He believes in keeping us waiting, does Chris Eubank. He kept us waiting at the weigh-in today for a couple of minutes. He feels this improves his performance and just builds up the atmosphere here. Lives just half a mile or so away from the arena. But his wife not allowed to watch him fight here live tonight. Well, we're all waiting for him to appear. I remember he did this at the National Exhibition Centre before Nigel Benn, kept us all waiting. But I think the show is up and running. And somewhere, when the ladies have had their share of the spotlight, we'll get down to the real business and see Chris Eubank. Well, the crowd on their feet here. They've been accused of being a bit reticent in the past down on the south coast. But they've got a world champion in Chris Eubank. 2 years ago, he said to the people of Brighton, I'm going to be a world champion and I will make my first defence here. And he's been true to his word. Ronnie Davis, his trainer, holds the belt. Simply the best. Chris Eubank is on his way. Let's go down to ringside and join your big fight commentators. The former champion of the world, Jim Watt. And first of all, Reggie. Reggie Guthridge, it's all yours.
Well, there, this fellow, this lovely Napoleonic strut he's got, isn't he? He really has the most implacable will that I've known in a fighter, really, because he's very deep. You can't work out what he's going to do. He doesn't give anything away. Even his gymnasium workouts don't tell you anything. But what we do know from the Benn fight, got a good chin. He took some good punches, and if that was the thing I might have doubted about him, his durability, and it's no longer that way because Benn can certainly bang. Well, he's stopped 10 of his last 11 opponents, and you see how he did that deliberately there, actually. Oh, the big vault over the rope. But one of these days that could be an embarrassment if he trips over that. No dressing gowns. There's the rundown then. Unbeaten, and as I said, won 10 of his last 11 inside the distance. He went 15 rounds with 12 rounds, I should say. It's the new distance, of course, with Eduardo Contreras in this ring. That's the last time he did a points decision. They both came in at 11 stone, 6 pounds, the middleweight limit. And this is the first time we've seen Dan Sherry. I've actually seen him, and so has Jim Watt. He boxed on the Ray Leonard Donny Lalonde bill in Las Vegas. Just a 4-rounder, as I remember it, and we didn't take too much notice of him, but he's turned out to be a decent boxer with a good amateur record.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, promoted by Matchroom and sponsored by the Daily Mirror, we are proud to present the main attraction of the evening, going worldwide on TV. A middleweight contest at 11 stone 6 pounds over 12 rounds, each of 3 minutes duration, for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. Your judges for the contest are Torben Hansen of Copenhagen, Frank Cairo of New Jersey, John Rupert of Miami, Florida, and your WBO supervisor is Mark Schechner of Florida. Your British Boxing Board of Control steward in charge is Nipper Reed. Ladies and gentlemen, your referee for the contest is Frank Santori Jr. of Orlando, and your timekeeper Jeff Williams of Sussex. Introducing and presenting to you the challenger in the red corner with the black shorts, with 17 wins from 17 contests, the former Commonwealth gold medalist and the current Canadian middleweight champion from Ontario, Dan Cherry. And his opponent in the blue corner with the white shorts, with 25 wins from 25 contests, defending the title, the WBO middleweight champion of the world, Chris Eubank. Ladies and gentlemen, at the weigh-in at 11 a.m. this morning, Dan Cherry scaled 11 stone 6 pounds, Chris Eubank 11 stone 6 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Well, Sherry's got the right idea. He's looked at the referee and not at Eubank. He's got this great intimidating look. Really winds himself up, Jim, for a fight, this fellow, doesn't he? I was only saying earlier, you know, it's so difficult to forecast what he's exactly going to do.
No, well, he has his own ideas about everything. We'll just have to wait and see what he intends trying to do. Hopefully Sherry will make him fight and we'll have another epic one.
And that's the part, you see, he sorts people out. At least Ben pushed him the whole time and threw hard punches and made him fight. But if he finds a fight as easy, it's a bit of a fencing match sometimes for Eubank. But since winning the WBO championship in that great fight, no doubt about that, with Nigel Benn in Birmingham, the local crowd here in the South Coast have really taken to him now. Well, now we'll see if Dan Cherry, both 24, but he's had, well, nowhere near the opposition really that Eubank has had, of course. Well managed by the Sugar Ray Leonard group. He didn't come for this fight, Leonard. He's, well, you can understand that. He's still suffering a bit from loss of pride for losing his last fight. But of course Leonard's trainer Pepe Correa came with him. Oh, well, he's got through with the punch, Sherry. Now I wonder if that'll liven Eubank up a bit, Jim.
Yeah, well, Eubank landed a nice little right hand of his own. He doesn't usually throw right hands this soon, but Sherry's taken the fight to him, and this is when I think Eubank is at his best, when the opponent puts him under pressure and brings the best out of him, as Nigel Benn did.
Caught him almost a ramrod of a punch there, and he's forcing. Now that's silly of Eubank to do that, because this fella's getting a longer rest, and the referee was absolutely right. He's got to go to the neutral corner, and now he's taken up the mandatory 8 count. There are no 3 knockdown rule in existence, meaning if he went down 3 times in 1 round, it would all be over.
I think Sherry helped the impact of that punch by moving right onto it. It was a good sharp little punch, but Sherry moved right onto it, but it was completely clear as soon as he hit the floor, so he's not badly shaken at all, but a good little shot.
Oh dear, a bit of embarrassment there by Eubank. He couldn't get up quickly enough. Oh, what a confidence this fella Sherry's got. It's going to liven things up a bit.
I don't like the look of Sherry's right hand, Reg, the way he throws it right over the top. It's a little bit amateurish. I think this job may have come a little bit soon in his career, kind of untied the right hand punch he's throwing.
Oh, well short with that punch, Eubank. He won't like that. He really tripped over himself, overreaching. Oh, he's a bit flashy, Jim. Now, if you remember when we first saw him in Las Vegas, he didn't do any of this flashiness. Sherry, maybe he's trying to. He knows that Eubank is a bit of an unusual character. He might be trying to take the psychological play away.
Yeah, well, I think he feels that Eubank started it, you know, with the standing with the hands in the hips and strutting around after the knockdown. So I think he's just maybe trying to play his own game to show he's not intimidated, but he seems to be enjoying himself. He's not overawed by the occasion.
Second out. Outside, let's go.
Second out.
Outside.
Round 2.
Well, some lively start, isn't it? Scheduled for 12, of course, a World Championship. Oh, well, that was a silly punch on the back. He's got to warn him for that, Frank Santori. He's a very sprightly referee. He's only handled 1 previous World Championship for the World Boxing Organization. dear, oh dear, Jim. The referee nearly got nailed then trying to get in as he threw that punch to Eubank. He was innocently threw it.
Yeah. Eubank a little bit careless in the second round here, Reg. Right hand leads, but leaving his chin down. Just a little bit careless. I think maybe he's thought this fight was going to be a little bit easier than it is.
Over the years, the Canadian fighters have always shown a hardness, toughness in the ring. Could name dozens of them. Give value for money.
Eubank just missed his whisker by a fraction there, Reg. It would have been a good shot. It just whizzed by Sherry's chin. That would certainly have tested the Canadian's chin if it had landed. Good shot.
He's only taken one brief count in his career, and he got up to winning 3 rounds for the Canadian Championship, Sherry. But he's never been in, I shouldn't have thought, with a puncher of this caliber, really. It's such a surprise puncher. You never know quite which way or which hand or where it's coming from with Eubank. He does favour the big overarm right.
Let's go, guys. You're up. Turn around. Watch your head, Chris.
Well, Sherry's not had any problems getting close to Eubank. He's getting in close. He's landing a few punches. Hasn't troubled him, but he hasn't found any trouble finding the target.
See, in Edinburgh, Jim, when he won the Commonwealth Games, I mean, he looked pretty good there. Then when he, in the Canada Cup, he defeated Neville Brown and Richie Woodall. Good class amateurs are now doing well as pros.
I mean, you can see he is a good boxer, Reg, but at a 12-rounder at this level, you wonder if it maybe hasn't come just a little bit soon in his career. He hasn't really been tested at that level.
He doesn't show any fear, does he? That's the main thing.
No, but he's having some success in the first couple of rounds, and I think that's boosting his confidence. His right hand delivery is a little bit better than the silly over right arm stuff he was throwing in the first round.
See, there he does. He plays his chess match bit there, Eubank, at the end of this round. The referee's very aware of the fact that punches after bells and things or after breaks could happen. Jim, let's have a look at that first round knockdown now when he walked straight onto it.
Sherry seemed to come straight in. See, there you are. See, he helped out the power of that punch, but as soon as he went down, he was looking back to his opponent. His head was completely clear, but a good little shot from Eubank.
Yeah, he walked on square on. That was the trouble with this lad. Hasn't taken too many punches, as you can see. Good looking lad. And in case he does get cut, they brought in the Londoner Jimmy Tibbs to look after him. And in this corner, Ronnie Davis, a local Brighton man who used to manage Eubank before he joined the Barry Hearn camp. And Brendan Ingle on the outside.
10 seconds. Seconds out. Outside. Stay here, Chris. Stay here.
Seconds out. Round 3.
Oh, it's okay. Just the spittoon was a bit too near the ring there. See, this fellow Sherry sparred a couple of times with Sugar Ray Leonard, more or less, when Leonard was at his peak, Jim. So he can't be, as they say in the fight trade, a mug, really. Otherwise, the Leonard camp wouldn't have bothered to sign him.
No, well, his amateur record shows that he can certainly box. He's a little bit loose at times, Reg. You know, he doesn't have a great defence. His head's a little bit high. Eubank produced very little work in the previous round. He did nothing at all, which gave Sherry a chance to shine. But now I think he's trying to put Sherry under a little bit more pressure. There's that big silly right hand punch again, Reg.
He keeps trying nagging away there, the Canadian, with punches, but the harder ones are coming in from Eubank. Oh, that's a bit silly of him doing that. And I can't understand. He's not going to win any popularity polls doing that sort of stuff. We had it in the first round when he wouldn't walk back to a neutral corner. And he's giving him plenty of time, the referee. Now, that they should put a few seconds on, I think, at the end. It won't stop on the 3 minutes necessarily.
Well, I believe Eubank should be trying to dominate this fellow, Reg, but certainly not like that. He should be putting him under pressure, not allowing him to work. Because, as I say, Sherry looks a little bit loose, and I think if Eubank would go to work, he wouldn't have great trouble landing his punches. See a little smudge of blood on Sherry's right eye. I don't know if it's a cut or something from my nose, Reg.
No, it's the referee did glance at it, didn't he, when he stopped it for there, and there's a small cut there. And as I said, the Londoner Jimmy Tibbs has been employed as the cut man in Sherry's corner. Oh, he's going for him a bit now, Eubank. What a gutsy guy he is, though, Sherry, isn't he? A little bit of the Irish coming out of him. Granddad came from Galway, a bit of German blood, and lives in a steel and iron producing town, so it's got all the ingredients of a pro fighter. Oh, he did him with the right hand there, Jim. He was a bit pleased to hang on there, Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry's smiling back, but I think those punches really were felt down to his boots. Eubank certainly the better puncher. He's beginning now to put his punches together, but he's going to have to dominate a little bit more.
Seconds out. Outside. Stay here.
Second down, round 4.
Straight out for round 4. Taking time off there, says he wants to wipe the corner. He's a very fastidious referee, but so far he's doing his job well. So just a nick around the left eye there of Sherry, which was worked on with the coagulates in the corner. And from this pointage at the ringside seat here, they've done a pretty good job in it, but let's see. A long way to go. He's still chancing his luck, Jim Sherry, throwing that over arm right like that, and not all the time Eubanks takes one. He probably says, well, he's not hitting that hard, but it's a bit foolish of him.
Yeah, well, Sherry's definitely given it his best shot. He's trying to prevent Eubank from settling down to a rhythm. So he's trying to break that rhythm and set the pace. But when Eubank goes to work, he seems to be much more powerful, much stronger. And you get the feeling if he really would put the pedal down, he would get control of the action. But Sherry's still full of fight.
Minute gone in the 4th.
See, again, Eubank seems to be standing off in this round.
Referee helps to make a good fight, of course, and he's frequently saying to him, okay, come on, when he gets near them like this, when there's a bit of posing going on.
See, Eubank is a smart fighter, Reg, but he's not really a pressure fighter, and I think this is what this battle tonight needs. He's going to have to pin this fellow down, push him back, and cut the ring off. He's really given him far too much room to move.
Jim, really good combination there, the Canadian threw, didn't he?
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to have the power to trouble Eubank. The Benn fight showed us there's nothing wrong with Eubank's chin. But he's just a little bit careless and a little bit one-paced there, certainly in this round.
Well, Sherry seems to be enjoying tasting life at world title level. Even the crowd in the back of the arena here normally run the political conventions here, of course. You can see that left-hand jab coming in there and cheering.
So that was a good right-hand shot from Sherry. Didn't trouble Eubank at all. So Eubank can afford to take chances, but he really has to pin this man down. That was good work from Sherry, Reg.
Yeah, he looks as though he's really trained. And, fitness here is tremendous for Sherry. Whether it'll be proven over the distance, we don't know. I suppose he ad-libs his strategy a bit, Eubank. I mean, he certainly fools me. I never quite know, Jim, what he's going to do next. I'm sure the opponent doesn't, which is more important.
Yeah, he seems at times to want to be smarter than necessary, if you know what I mean. You know, he wants to pose and make faces when he should be really settling down and getting on with the job. See, there are 2 punches he didn't have to take, Reg.
I don't know about you, whether my clock stopped or not, Jim, but I think the round's overrun a bit. I'm not sure. Well, that seemed a long round to me, and I'm sure it did to the other two. Now, what's going on? I think that's what's called giving him the elbow, Jim. Was a bit silly, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe a little sign of frustration from Eubank there. Again, that wasn't really a very good round for him. He tried long single shots, powerful shots. Didn't have a lot of success with them, but Sherry kept peppering away, put a couple of good combinations together. See, maybe this will be... See, there you go. Now, there's a couple of punches that Eubank didn't have to take, but he's hanging around too long and lingering. See, a little bit of frustration here, you know, just pushing him back. We don't need that either, Reg. Eubank just wants to get his act together, his concentration back where it should be.
Corner, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 5.
And out for the 5th round. A little bit of needle coming in there with Eubank, Jim. I haven't seen him do that before. A little bit of elbowing. I don't know, maybe winning the championship changed him a bit. Who knows? I'm sure he'll tell me, as he always does.
See, he seems to be going to work every second round, Reg. And when he does go to work, his punches are far better, far stronger than Sherry's. And he really has the power and the strength to dominate this fellow, but he's not been trying to do it. He's been trying to catch him with single shots. Sherry, with a good amateur record, a good boxer, he's staying out of trouble and he's landing a lot of punches that Eubank shouldn't really be taking.
Looks like they managed to patch that little nick around Sherry's eye up okay, Jim.
A nice little left hook from Sherry. He caught Eubank as he came in. See, this is the opposite kind of fight from the one I expected. I thought Sherry would have trouble pinning Eubank down, but it's the other way about.
Oh, it's a good shot, that, Jim. He picked that one out of the air, didn't he? He just timed it right as Sherry waded in a bit there. Well, there's quite a few people, Jim, that didn't think Sherry could give Eubank a run, and he is. And there's no use Eubank saying he's not extending himself, because at times he's tried to nail him.
Yeah, he's trying to pin him down, but he's trying to do it with single shots, Reg. I think he should be really trying to get his act rolling, a little bit of fluency in his work. It's just single hard shots. He's trying to catch the fellow with that one sucker punch. He caught him a nice little left hand there, Reg. It nearly worked. But Sherry's chin seems to be sound enough. So I think Eubank, as I say, he's going to have to dominate the action, put him under more pressure. There he goes, standing off again.
In the last minute of the 5th. He's got immense pride, this fellow, Sherry, but I'm afraid that doesn't pack a wallet.
See, once again, we see Eubank's punches far better, far stronger than Sherry's, but not enough of them. This is better.
He still scuffles well, though, Sherry, doesn't he, when he gets himself out of trouble. As we come up to the end of this round. And again, an untidy finish.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Seconds out.
Seconds out.
6th round. And there's, although obviously Eubank's very much a local favourite here, I must say this fellow Sherry's getting quite a bit of applause now for his gameness anyway, and willingness to come and try and take the title away. Boxed all over the world as an amateur. When he was only 16, he boxed in Ireland, and then Wales and Australia. In fact, he beat Jeff Harding in Korea. Harding went on to win and lose against Dennis Andrews, who's here tonight. Oh, what a shot. That uppercut to him right through the middle, but he took it well.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Sherry's chin either, but you can really see the effects of Eubank's punches when he does land. He's far stronger than Sherry, as I say, a far better puncher. He's going to have to step up the pace and really put this fellow under pressure to pin him down.
Very difficult to make Eubank step up pace though, Jim, isn't he? He's so predictable in that sense.
Yeah, well, as I say, he's not a pressure fighter. He likes to pick his punches, pick and choose, make it the man miss. But this fellow Sherry is very accurate with his own punches, and he's putting punches together. So Eubank is taking punches, and I don't think he's coming back with enough of his own. His own punches are better, but I'd like to see quite a few more coming.
Uses his feet well. It's a very big ring, this, which is supposed to suit Eubank, but it's turned out that it's suited Sherry. Can range anything from 16 foot to 22 foot in the inside rope, so this is quite a big one.
See there, Eubank throws a single punch, he poses for 10 seconds, throws a single punch, and Sherry comes back with 3. Eubank can't really get rhythm into his work yet.
Just looking for the opening the whole time, Eubank. He just can't catch this fellow and stop his gallop a bit.
See, Eubank should be launching an attack and sustaining it, Reg. It's all disjointed, it's all single punch stuff. He's going to have to put his work together, sustain it.
Well, he's always calling himself a good craftsman, and he's got to prove it. So he's gesturing there as if, would you mind standing still while I throw my best punch in? Well, he can't expect that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Reg. We usually expect it the other way around. We usually expect that the opponent's saying to Eubank, come on, let's go on with this. And it's the opposite. Eubank is the fellow who can't pin his opponent down. And look at Sherry, still full of confidence.
Yeah. I doubt if he could understand it through that gum shield there, but he certainly made himself known a little bit there, Sherry. Good job this referee's on his toes. As I said, there's Jimmy Tibbs working in the corner on that little nick around the eye. Thankfully for Sherry, hasn't worsened. Jim, in replay.
Yeah, but when Eubank does land, his punching is better than Sherry's and far stronger. See, as soon as he lands a decent punch, Sherry is under pressure, but he has a good chin, but he has to grab here to get out of trouble. But Eubank needs to do a lot more work like that. Too disjointed tonight, too many single punches, too much posing. See, he's not really putting this fellow under enough pressure, Reg.
Corner, 10 seconds.
Seconds out. Outside.
Second out.
Well, I don't suppose the cornermen can really convince themselves that they want to know what Eubank will do. He makes up his own mind, round 7.
Well, no success here, Reg. Eubank throwing powerful punches, but no success. Maybe Eubank doesn't really fancy the role of being the aggressor. He probably shines when the opponent comes towards him, and Sherry is not obliging.
Stop! Don't point.
To remind you, if it does go the distance, we've got judges from New Jersey, Denmark and Miami. The referee doesn't score. Minute gone in the 7th.
A good shot from Eubank there, just flipped Sherry above the ear. But the Eubank must step up the pace. He's going to have to find a way to put his punches together. He doesn't really seem comfortable attacking. I think he far more enjoys himself when he's allowed to counter an opponent's moves. But he can't do that now. He's going to have to be the aggressor here and take some chances. But sometimes he just doesn't look comfortable doing that.
Well, he's getting away a bit quicker than he did in the early rounds here, Sherry. Skirting around the ropes as fast as he can, and you can't blame him. Minute to go in the 7th.
So Eubank has never been allowed to land punches without reply. Sherry always comes back with something. I think Eubank must be hoping that the second half of the fight, when he is that bit stronger, maybe things will start to go a little bit more his way.
He gets down to middleweight okay, puts on quite a lot of weight, Jim, and says he doesn't get it off until the last week. I'm not suggesting that's weakened him in any way, but I'm wondering now whether it's tapped his stamina a bit.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with his stamina, Reggie. He still looks strong when he goes to work. But as I say, he just hasn't sustained an attack. It's a single punch and now and again a 1-2. But he's going to have to set an attack and really sustain it.
And the audience here actually is a former champion who was stripped of the championship, Gary Stretch. And I know that he's hoping that Eubank to win because he'd like to fight him next. But this fellow, Sherry, now, he's remarkable. He really fancies his chances.
Well, here's one of the future opponents for Eubank if he wins, Gary Stretch. What do you think of Chris's performance?
Very, very disappointed. Sherry, although he doesn't look a big puncher, is giving Chris a boxing lesson tonight. Very, very disappointed. Eubank, who, you know, he states that he's a master boxer, he's looking for one big single shot at the moment. It isn't happening, in my opinion, he's 7 rounds behind so far.
But Sherry is inexperienced. Do you think he's going to last the distance?
Hope. It doesn't look like he's in any way in trouble at the moment. Hopefully, Eubank keeps giving an indication they might just catch him with the big shots. Other than that, Sherry looks in great condition. His mind's good, and he looks like he's going to stay the course for me at the moment.
Second down, round 8.
And we're into round 8. And I tell you, on the punches landed in, there is not much in this fight. How would you score it? I got it about even.
Sherry has always come back with punches. He's never taken punches without reply, whereas Eubank has been caught quite often without reply. So this fight must be pretty close. Eubank's punches are certainly more telling than Sherry's. Better delivered. But there you go, another free shot from Dan Sherry. Eubank could be in a little bit of trouble here, Reg. I think he's been forced now to box a campaign he doesn't enjoy boxing, coming forward, and he's making a lot of mistakes.
Sometimes these people with their self-styled titles are simply the best that he's got on his trunks, and plays himself in the arena with that tune. He's got to live up to that, you know, if you're making a hero of a fighter, is expected to be one.
So Eubank is allowing Sherry to box his own kind of fight all the way through, Reg. Never pressured him, never really cut him off, just followed him round, a lot of posing and a lot of single shots. There he goes, 4 punches thrown by Eubank, nothing landed. As I say, he's allowed Sherry to box to his own rhythm, and Sherry's enjoying himself. If Sherry doesn't run out of steam, Reg, then Eubank could be in serious trouble tonight. Now this is really sloppy stuff now from Chris Eubank.
He's talking now, Eubank, Jim. Certainly frustrating, Eubank, that's why he's talking to him.
Eubank has produced nothing in this round. He's taken a few good shots which haven't troubled him, but he's come back with nothing, hasn't produced a thing, Reg. and Sherry's still full of confidence. Look,
referee's got to stop this now. He's poking his tongue out over and everything. I know Ali did a bit of talking, but They've got to stop him doing that, Cherry. But still, Eubank started it.
See,
he's not winning the war of words either.
See, Reg, Eubank is not a good attacking boxer. He's good at making the other fellow miss. He's good at messing people about. He's good at counter-punching. But he is not a good attacking boxer. And that is what he's been forced to do now.
Well, what do you think of this? It's the old pose. I mean, honestly, we're getting a bit of show business here now. But that's typical of Eubank, standing there saying, well, what are you going to do about it? But he's the one. He's the defending champion. He's got to do something.
Eubank has not landed a single punch this round, Reg. He's followed about, posed, he's taken a few shots back, hasn't done one single thing in this round.
You can see the Canadians cornermen there yelling to him to use the ring exactly as he is there, frustrate Eubank like that. I didn't hear the bell there, I don't think. I'm not surprised. Well, that's got to put this fella in front, Jim. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Eubank, as I say, produced absolutely nothing in that round. He's the one who's calling to Sherry to come forward. As I say, we expected the other way around. We expected Eubank to be frustrating Sherry, but it's been quite the opposite. Sherry enjoying himself, becoming more confident. You can see the confidence in the fellow. Now, that was 4 punches thrown. One just glanced through. But this is the only bit of pressure that Eubank's managed to put him under in the whole of that round, and not a worthwhile punch amongst it. Look at the confidence in the young fellow, loving every minute.
Yep, doing the old alley shuffle there. Good, gutsy competitor, this. Not the biggest banger in the world, it would appear.
Corner, 10 seconds.
So the 10-second call for the cornerman to get out. And we're into round 9. Scheduled for 12 then, the WBO middleweight 11 stone 6-pound championship. With the holder Chris Eubank struggling a little bit, in our opinion anyway. I don't know what the 3 visiting judges have got this.
Now Eubank needs some big rounds, Reg. He's never really had a big round all the way through. And he's obviously frustrated at having to come forward to this fellow. Now Eubank still looking for the target with that one single hard shot. He should really be raising the pace, trying to find a bit of rhythm, which he has never found tonight. Still single shots.
His obstinacy could be his downfall here, Jimmy, too. Time to lower the boom as far as he's concerned.
See, again, Eubank is the one who's frustrated. He wants the pattern to change, but he doesn't know how to change it. He wants to draw the fellow into a slug match, but Sherry too much sense for that. Still picking away, landing the punches and not taking too much in return.
So far it seems that professionals, or ex-professionals as well, like yourself and Gary Stretch, have the same conclusion that he's just not doing enough, Eubank, and they're a bit disappointed. And we've got heavyweight Gary Mason watching as well. Quick break from training for the Lennox-Lewis fight.
See, I just don't think Eubank is really comfortable having to come forward, especially against a slippery fellow like this. You can see how he was so successful in his amateur days, because he's very good foot movement, puts punches together well, pins the punches and gets out of trouble. And there's no signs of Sherry weakening or slowing down. That was a good shot from Eubank. It has burst open Sherry's mouth. That's the best punch of the fight so far from Eubank. He has him in serious trouble. Sherry is hanging on, desperate trouble. His eyes look clear, but his mouth is badly damaged from that one single shot.
Well, good time for the bell to go, that is. Now, this fella's only been a 10-rounder once in his life. And he's needing quick repairs there in the corner. That's the first time he came under serious fire there. And let's have a look at that again now. We can see in replay the punch that comes over there.
A good shot from Eubank, and as soon as it landed you can see the blood coming out. A good shot up the way, and just a couple of seconds later blood coming from Sherry's mouth. Just too late in the round as far as Eubank's concerned. First bit of success in that round too. Eubank really struggling to find some rhythm, but Sherry under real pressure then, trying to grab hold, and the bell got him out of there.
Corner, 10 seconds.
Take a deep breath time indeed now for the challenger in round 10. Really getting up to a pitch of excitement now, Jim, isn't he? He's got the crowd at it, as they say, Eubank, isn't he?
Yeah, with a little bit of success. Eubank still looks very strong, Reg. He's paced himself well. He hasn't really exerted himself too much, so he has plenty of strength left in these last 3 rounds. And Sherry may be just becoming a little bit ragged now, but still looking strong in his legs. Still seems to have plenty of strength in his legs to keep him out of trouble.
Oh, he tried that uppercut game there, but missed by a mile. Nearly put the lights out with that one. Oh, that's the one he's working on there. He's obviously cut the Canadian's mouth.
Eubank's strength now coming into play for the first time, Reg. Sherry is obviously going to be struggling in the latter part of this fight. He still looks strong, but Eubank now picking up the pace.
He's calling him on there, Eubank now.
Well, Eubank has found the punch. The little uppercut keeping Sherry in serious trouble.
Now this is more like World Championship stuff now from Eubank. Exactly as he turned it on against Nigel Benn, and he's looking at the corner saying, I'm okay, I think. The corner objecting to something.
I think the referee did Sherry a little turn there, Reg.
Yeah, bleeding heavily from the mouth, Jim, too.
Yeah, that's obviously the same injury from the previous round, but Eubank a lot more authority, and Sherry now beginning to look a little bit weary.
Yeah.
But that was a backward butt.
Oh.
That was a backward butt from Eubank. If Sherry is cut, the fight could be all over, Reg.
Yeah, I don't know whether the referee would disqualify him for that.
If Sherry is cut, this fight could be all over.
He's saying take time off, and Sherry's on his knees there. He's got hit. It's a back-headed butt there by the look of it.
Reg, that is the biggest round Eubank has had, and he could have the round taken away from him. The least the referee could do is maybe take the round away from Eubank. I think Sherry's maybe
saying bring the stall in. He wants to bring the stall in. Now he's going to stop this. Now this fella's not acting. He's right above our commentary position here. Now I wonder what kind of finish we got here, Jim. Eubank objecting.
Reg, I can't believe it had that effect on the fellow. But I mean, it was so stupid from Eubank that I can't believe that butt, because he was still standing a couple of seconds after the butt, and now suddenly he can't feel his legs under him. I think maybe a little bit of exaggeration.
He's really flopped like a jelly there, hasn't he? Right above us. He's fallen off the stool. So let's see this again now, Jim. Look, you see, stupid really of
See, I mean, it doesn't look, his legs haven't gone away from him here, Reg. It's just happened since then. I find that surprising.
But it's on the floor again now, and let's watch it again now.
Here we go, look.
Oh,
a stupid thing to do. See, he complains here. He's okay. He decides to go on the floor. Now suddenly he can't feel his legs under him, Reg. I think maybe we have a little situation difficult to deal with for any referee.
Well, there's one thing for sure now, Jim. The fight is over because the doctors are in the ring. It's a question now. It's the referee saying to Eubank, you stay in the corner. He has not raised his hand.
Well, let's go to points, Reg, with this kind of ending, I wonder.
Well, that's another thing. Normally with a cut they do. But whether on a foul like this,
I mean, it was
I'm not sure how he's going to read this.
It was a deliberate butt. It wasn't an accidental low blow or a clash of heads. It was a backward butt from Eubank.
I tell you what, we have to say this fella's been on there and he's in trouble there. although you quite rightly said he didn't look it for a few seconds, I think since then he really flopped when he went onto the floor, and the doctors are looking a bit concerned.
Thing, Reg, because you could see him, he decided to go on the floor. You know, when he took the butt, he complained, then went onto the floor, so obviously it's a delayed action. He's back on his feet now.
So now he's going round. I'll take 2 points off the... I can see the referee saying 2 points. Now that has given Chris Eubank a lot of trouble, but how can they let the fight go on?
Well, what a pity, Reg. That's the first big round Eubank has had, and he goes and ruins it with a stupid thing like that.
Board Secretary John Morris is saying now, behave yourself, quiet, stop in your corner, wait until the referee makes his decision. And there's no way they can let this fight go on, Jim. This fella's out.
If he is really like that, then, Reg, if he's not making the best of this, which is, now the more I look at him, Reg, he looks in serious trouble. But it looked to me at the time that the butt couldn't have caused all that damage. But
it's the mouth too that quite badly cut again there, although the butt didn't contribute to that afterwards at all. Well, you know the old thing about I've never quite seen anything like this before. This one I haven't, have you?
It's an unusual one, Reg, and the fact that it's the first time Sherry's been under, his eyes look clear to me looking at him now, Reg, and it's the first time he was under real pressure. The little incident happened which was Eubank's fault totally, but I wonder if Sherry is as badly hurt as he's making out. I find it surprising as I looked at the replay. He took the little butt, complained to the referee, looked at the floor, went over, and then suddenly he couldn't walk.
Well, the border control doctors certainly won't let him leave the stool there. But there's a few sweaty palms going on here, wanting to know exactly what's happening. And as I said, the Board of Control have kept Eubank in the corner waiting for this decision.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious Sherry has no intention.
The referee's telling him go back to his own corner now. That means the fight is over. And Jim, we just can't predict the result here, can we? If it's 2 points taken off and they go to points, then
Reg,
Eubanks can't win it.
First of all, we have a deliberate foul. I'd like to see Sherry what happens with his legs here. Here comes the butt. Here it goes. Now look at his legs. He complains to the referee, looks down, and I mean it was a deliberate, but I would say Eubank deserves severe punishment for that, and it could be costing him his world title. I don't know if it goes to points or if it's a disqualification because it was a deliberate butt and Sherry unable to continue. I would imagine, Reg, a disqualification because it was a deliberate butt.
I don't know whether Eubanks already had the word that he might have lost.
See, I think the key, Reg, is the fact that it was deliberate. It wasn't an accidental butt or a low blow. So the referee is going to have to go.
So, Jim, they're going to go to the scores here, as we thought. And if they've taken the 2 points off, he's in trouble here, Eubank. So that's a rule that we remember we had that once with Lloyd Hannigan over a cut when he lost because the points went against him at that time.
Well, I suppose it must be the cut eye rule that applies. If a deliberate butt and the receiving boxer can't continue for any reason and it's going to points, and that must be what's happening here.
Well,
Reg.
probably the referee's also saying he's badly cut in the mouth too. He may not have let that go on anyway. But it's unintentional at that time before the butting came into it, then he's got to go to the scorecards.
Yeah, I don't think the cut mouth is going to come into play. It all hinges on that backward butt from Eubank, and if the points that are taken away from Eubank because of the butt, then he's going to be in serious trouble.
Well, there it is.
Ladies
now
and
from the MC.
The referee has deducted 2 points off Chris Eubank for... Ladies and gentlemen, please. The referee has deducted 2 points off Chris Eubank for an intentional headbutt, but it is now going to the decision of the judges, and we're waiting for their cards. Thank you.
Oh, and we're still waiting for the cards. Well, the supervisor has to look at those as well to make sure that they're all signed properly, and he totals them up. Because they give them in at the end of each round, and there's a shot of it from the MC.
Reg, with 2 points off and a poor performance from Chris Eubank, his title could be saying goodbye to it, Reg. because, as I say, not too many big rounds the champion had. Here it comes.
Judge Frank Cairo scores the contest 93-95 in favour of Sherry.
One vote for Sherry.
Judge Torben scores the contest 93-95 in favour of Eubank.
One each.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge John Rupert scores the contest 92 points to 95 in favour of Chris Eubank, who still...
So Eubanks, in fact, retains the title.
Chris Eubank.
Jim Watt and I weren't sure that he really deserved that once he lost the 2 points. I thought that was going to destroy him. Early on for 6-7 rounds, it had to be a very close fight. But I must say, I thought maybe towards the end, yes, Eubanks was getting well on top in the 9th and 10th rounds. But there you are, the neutral judges. Can't wish for more than that. No hometowns involved. So here's Chris Eubank and Gary
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your appreciation, please? And Don Cherry, the loser.
Chris, we'll show you that incident in just a moment, but that was a very close shave.
I was going to him, he kept on holding me and pushing me down. I couldn't, he wouldn't let me work. I kept on chasing him, and he kept on spinning me and putting pressure on me, pushing me down, and I got frustrated, and that's when I done like this.
While I'm talking to you, they're stretching away your opponent. So what do you recall of what happened with that headbutt?
He was forcing, he kept on spinning me and forcing his pressure down on me. From there, I mean, I got frustrated, which was unprofessional of me. And
here it is, Chris. You can see exactly what happens. The back of your head, I think.
Well, I wasn't very hard.
There you go.
Listen, he faked it. He faked that. He faked that. He kept on biting me. He faked that. I was getting to him. All I wanted to do was work. I wanted to keep on working, but he kept on forcing me.
An Oscar, I know that.
Chris, the fact is actually, even if he's exaggerating, even if he's faked it, well, just have another look first of all. What do you think? Do you think this is a fake? Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a fake. I didn't do it hard. Look at it yourself. You be the judge. Come on. That's a touch. That's a touch. That's get off of me.
Mind you have got a hard head, Chris.
Not that hard.
Listen, Gary, right? He faked it, right? He was acting. He tried to steal my title, right? As far as I'm concerned, I was supposed to go to 12 rounds, and I would have got to him sooner or later. I was getting to him, but he kept on pressuring me. Now, some people are gonna.
Chris, it was a stupid thing for you to do, though.
It was stupid and unprofessional. But he came to steal my title.
Sorry, yeah, can you just move away, please? Thank you. Barry, just bring you in for a moment. Security people just clearing away one or two idiots who've got in here. If I just get your concentration back again, Barry, for a moment. That was a very close shave, and thankfully for Chris, the judges went in his favour. The last judge, one of the American judges, voted for Chris, and he's still the champion. But your heart must be in your mouth because you had big plans for him.
Well, we've already signed. We're fighting Gary Stretch. Chris Eubank's defending his title against Gary Stretch on April the 18th at Olympia. And I tell you, tonight, an actor nearly stole his title. Thank goodness we escaped. He would have been stopped if he'd have got up. But that was one of the best performances I've ever seen outside of a theatre. So now, all we're waiting for now, he's in the crowd somewhere. It's going to be Gary Stretch on April the 18th.
Okay, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to come to run. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to force you, and I'm going to stop you. That's all I got to say. I mean, nobody's going to come and try and steal my title again. I mean, that's it. I mean, this guy ran me about. Yeah, he was boxing good. He was backing off. He kept on running. He wouldn't come forward. What a fighter! I've always said, right, anyone who wants to come forward, right, they can't beat me. Now, he ran tonight. Good tactics. I don't take nothing away from him. Good tactics, right? But he faked it. Maybe he could have got the decision. Maybe he could have. I think I would have stopped him. But maybe he could have. Hold on. Maybe I could have stopped him. I got to his mouth. He was bleeding continuously. I would have got to him and I would have stopped him.
Okay, Chris, you are still champion, but it was a close shave. Thank you.
That was a close shave. Thanks, Gary.
Too close for comfort.
Very close shave. Jim Watt, just one final comment from you. just analysed that performance by Chris Eubank for us.
I thought it was a very poor performance, very disjointed all the way through. He never really got any rhythm into his work. A stupid ending. And if I'd been told to take 2 points from the scorecard, I don't think I would have kept him with his title.
Bit lucky to hang on to the world title.
Very, very fortunate indeed, yes.
Right, now, we heard Barry Hearn mentioning there the next fight has already been signed, sealed and delivered. And there we are, Chris Eubank against Gary Stretch. That will be his next world title defence. They were very confident, Barry Hearn's people, and indeed Chris Eubank. They had these printed to be handed to the crowd on the way out. They've called Dan Sherry an actor there. I feel that's being a bit unfair to the challenger. A lot of Chris Eubank's work there was a bit unprofessional, but the Brighton crowd confirm it. Chris Eubank is still middleweight champion of the world. Well, that wraps things up from us here in Brighton now. Straight after the break, we'll be joining Tony Francis with more from the snooker up in Derby. From us all in Brighton,